some bills that I got signed into law that I still get contacted about to
Oh,
this
no kidding.
day. Yeah, it's
Well, like what? Can you tell us about some? I'm
absolutely.
curious.
So a year ago, I had a bill signed into law that it was actually signed into law June of last year, but it was in effect August, I think 10th of 2018. It was a bill. Um, they call it the drinking on stage bill. That's not actually what the bill does. What the bill does is actually change the employment status of entertainers who come to this state.
I'm giggling about this for a specific reason, but
Okay.
go ahead.
So like entertainers like bands and comedians or whatever like who perform here
Yeah.
would be considered private contractors under state law.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be subject to employment status of the venue that they work for.
Yeah.
They're their own thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was a rule that many people know had actually existed.
I sure knew.
So what the bill does would, kind of eliminate the regulation from Liquor Commission coming into venues and saying, well, I see a beer on stage. That's considered an employee. So now we're going to fine you $1,000
Yep.
and take your license away.
Yep.
And I was like, that's craziness.
I know.
But the bill was so popular, not only with the committee that voted for it, but with the Liquor Commission, it passed without a single vote against it.
Yeah.
It went all the way through to the governor's desk, and I was actually kind of shocked by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's actually had a huge impact on the industry in New Hampshire because now, excuse me, the bands and whatnot don't have to worry about that rule anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The venue owners don't have to worry about that rule anymore.
Yeah.
And the commission can focus on whatever the commission does to, grieve people. That's just kind of what they do. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to, kind of eliminate enforcement, from them to give back the liberty to people who are just trying to, to make a living and whatnot. So
The reason that made me giggle is because of my background in the music scene. For years, I did. I don't currently, but I did a lot of shows. I would act as a promoter, doing a lot of shows in the area. And I don't know if you remember the Uptown Tavern or if you were here when that was open.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the Uptown, and I used to do some shows at Millie's too. It's not
cool.
Millie's anymore, but when it was Millie's, Peter,
a long time ago.
Peter Telge's place. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And the Uptown was even longer ago, but it was a constant thing where, especially at the Uptown, it was a problem because I'd have, I'd have a Friday or a Saturday night that I'd booked, and I'd have, typically 3 bands come in, and I would have to tell everybody, and then I would have to remind them, and sometimes I would have to remind them again, you can't have any alcohol on stage with you because I got the management, or at Millie's, I'd have Peter up my ass about, you can't allow any alcohol on stage because it's going to be really bad if the wrong person walks in and sees that. And, and I mean, for the most part, everybody was cool about it, but every once in a while I'd have somebody, I'd have to keep reminding them, dude, you can't bring that beer up with you.
Yeah.
You're in New Hampshire. I know in Massachusetts it's not a problem, but up here you can't. There was one guy, I won't say who it was, but there was this one guy in this band. I'll never forget this. I'm telling him at the beginning of the night because he was a bartender at a certain place in Dover. And it was so long ago, it probably wouldn't matter if I said who it was, but I remember telling him at the beginning of the night, I was like, okay, just, can't have any beer on the stage. And he was like, he goes out of his way to tell me, he's like, oh man, if there's one person you don't have to explain it to, it's me. You got nothing to worry about. He goes, I'm a bartender in Dover at such and such, and we always have to remind everybody. And yeah, so, don't worry. I got it, bro. And then, I swear to God, 10 minutes later, they're loading in, they're sound checking. I turn around, I look at the stage, and the guy who went out of his way to tell me, no, you definitely don't have anything to worry about with us. He's standing on stage holding a beer. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I digress. But that's why I giggled when you mentioned that.
Well, I mean, I've been playing in bands for, since I was like a sophomore in high school, and I have a lot of friends who play in bands.
Yeah.
And so it was a nice thing to kind of, help out my friends, but also help out just the entertainment industry in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to be able to have a beer on stage when I play shows again. So.
Yeah. What have you been in bands in the local area?
Yeah.
You know, you and I probably have crossed paths at one point, and it was just so long ago we don't remember. Like, what bands? Anybody you want to mention?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, prior to the band that I'm in now, the last band I was in before I went overseas was a band called God Crusher. It was a
Yeah, I don't remember.
blackened death metal band.
Nice.
And but a lot of shows that we played were actually out of state.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Jeez, it's been such a long time. Like there was a band I played open for Summer Slaughter tour at the Palladium in 2009. That was probably like the biggest show of my life.
What band was that?
Geez, what are they called? Dismantled the Cyborg.
Okay.
I wasn't in the band very long because
really?
Pretty much. So what happened was I got in that band like 2 months after that. We played some Battle of the Bands at the old the Rocco's place.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
We were talking about Rocco's a few weeks ago on
Really?
the show with the mirrors and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played that show there. We actually won that show. We played Summer Slaughter like a month after that, and then no joke. This isn't a slight on any of them. I'm still friends with them or whatever, but there was a miscommunication with, I guess, getting me back home because I didn't live around here.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I like need a ride home, and they were so upset with me for that. I was out of the band that night. They
Really?
They kicked me out of the band because I needed a ride home from the show. And
Wow, what a bunch of jerks.
Well,
Jeez.
I can kind of giggle about that stuff now, but at the time it was $100 cab ride to get home.
That's just bizarre. Like, and they kicked you out of the band for
Kicked me
that?
out of the band for that. Yeah.
That's really just strange.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was such a long time ago. I don't care about that now.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying though, that's bizarre. Hey, but you're in a band currently?
I am.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
What band?
I'm actually singing. I'm not doing any screaming or growling. It's a band called Shrouded Luminosity.
Oh wow.
It's like progressive power type stuff.
Do you have music online?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're still putting all our fine tuning and perfecting everything before we feel comfortable with releasing anything. And actually, our drummer he works for the shipyard and he's been in Connecticut since February.
Yeah.
So we've been on without our fifth member for quite a while now. So, but he comes back in a few weeks, and once he comes back, we'll kind of go through our set list again, and hopefully we'll be able to release something.